ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं मवामहे कविं क्लीनाम् उपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पद आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजे विर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु महासरस्वत्यै नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। विन्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। देवीं वाचमजनयन्त देवाः तां विश्वरूपा पशवो वदन्ति सा नो मन्दिरेषु मूर्जन्दुहाना धेनुर्वागस्मानुप्रतिष्ठितयतु व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्ते पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकदातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। शिवशक्तिसमारम्भां भास्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मत्श्रीनाथपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीललितामहात्रिपुरसुन्दरी समेत श्रीचन्द्रमौळीश्वराय नमः। काञ्ची कामकोटिपीठाधिपति जगद्गुरु श्रीशङ्कराचार्य श्रीचरणयोः प्रणामाः। So, if you have the script that was shared last time, just open the 8th shloka. I just want to give you a little bit more explanation to set the context for the meaning for 9th and 10th. I have shared the script for the year 9, 10, 11 also today. You got it? Shall we start? கிடைக்கலையா? Sure. How is the weather in UK?
Raining.
Everywhere it is raining. The whole earth is clouded by, covered by clouds. Extensive rain. And it's going to rain for the next 10 days the same way.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You want me to send it again? Got it. Okay. So, Manomayah Prana Sharira Neta Pratishthitonne Hridayam Sannidhaya Tadavijnanena Paripashyanti Dhira Ananda Rupamamritam Yad Vibhati. This is what we learned last time. I gave the individual meaning of the individual words. Overall, what it says here is that the knot of the heart is broken, all doubts are cleared, and all actions perish when you get connected with the greatest supreme being, which is the Atman. So I'll repeat again. The knot of the heart is broken. All the doubts are cleared. And all actions perish when the greatest supreme being is beheld. What are the knots of the heart? When we say knots of the heart, doesn't mean in the literal sense that it is all knotted. The knots of the heart means avidya, kama, and karma. Avidya, kama, and karma. Avidya is ignorance or lack of knowledge. Kama is desire, any form of desire. Karma is action. So the point, if you really see everything, the whole complex set of mantras that we learned so far, if you summarize it and filter into 3 words, it boils down to this. When we are born and we grow up, we continue to live in a state of ignorance or lack of knowledge. We are bound by lots of desires, and we engage ourselves for the whole of our life in actions to fulfill those desires. This is something that you'll be able to easily relate to, right? So when you're young, if you're born in a poor family, you will say, "Oh, at least I must have a scooter." If you're born in a family with scooter, you'll say, "At least now I must grow up to a car." Once you go up to that, you'll say imported car, Benz, BMW. That is not sufficient. I think at least I should have one Lamborghini. It's a never-ending process. So what you thought 5 years ago that if I achieve this, I will retire, it will never happen. Usha is a very good example. Though she's not doing it for money, but she told all of us that she is absolutely retired. She's going to take it easy. Now, if you call her in the middle of the day, she says, "No, I'm busy at work. I'll call you later in the evening." So there's nothing wrong about it. It is human. All of us do it. If you see my college friends, most of them have retired and they're traveling all over the world and enjoying their life. I'm sitting here thinking of how to start a new business. So we get caught into that desire and action, desire and action, desire and action. So if you think you have achieved everything for yourself, you want to do something for your children, for your relatives, or worst case, suddenly there will be a bhavana of something to do for the society, pay back to the society. So you will work hard, earn money to do something for the society. It's very normal. But quite a few of these things are coming because of that ignorance that we're talking about. Ignorance means you don't really know the true knowledge that you need to possess. Remember that's how Shaunaka came to Sage Angirasa. What is it that I must know by which I will know everything? And if you remember, recall in some of the middle mantras, they dwelt very deeply into that aspect of, in this whole cycle of karma and karma, you feel that you are creating something. That feeling of that you're God gets into you, saying that, "Oh, I created this, I created this." I've seen children saying that, "I produced this child. I gave birth to this child. I will let them have fun for a day. The second day, I'll tell them, please take away from your mind that you created something. You're a delivery boy, like a FedEx boy or a UPS boy. Nothing more than that." So it brings down their entire excitement and say, "What? I mean, you shouldn't say that." I said, "That's a fact. The sooner you realize it is good." So, summary again: lower level knowledge, higher level knowledge, paravidya, aparavidya. And when you do aparavidya, that is what you get, that I am the one creating everything. Then paravidya, when you're in pursuit of that, you are actually trying to learn who the Brahman is. You're trying to connect with that Paramatma. And during that process, two simple things you must never forget. You will get the feeling that you're going through a jungle. You will get that feeling that you're actually passing through a jungle. And then suddenly it'll open up to 1,000 sunlight. And that will absolutely, imagine that you're putting yourself into a furnace. What will happen? All the components will melt, right? Everything will become proton, neutron, and electron in a plasma state. So you will see yourself in that state where all that physical things that you're able to relate to, this is a phone, this is a bag, this is a house, this is a cupboard, everything will disappear. This is the shortest summary of path of moksha. If you're not very confident you're going to go down that path very soon, you're going to see it yourself. You heard it from me, so it's like a trailer of the movie. If that motivates you, go for it. And if the question is, what do I do? Immediately start giving up certain things, small things. Get used to it, that without that you will never be. And I came across a video. Sometimes WhatsApp University is also very useful. I came across a video that I wanted to share with you. It says if you can learn a lot from the cashier in a bank. Can anyone tell me what is it that you can learn?
It's a place for transaction.
What else?
You have everything, but nothing is yours.
Perfect. I think you have watched the video.
I haven't.
No, then you are brilliant. Then you are brilliant. It is you hit the bullseye. Correct. So, in a day, maybe depending on the cashier's speed and capabilities, the person would have handled lakhs and lakhs of rupees. He will receive lakhs. He will give lakhs. But हाथ में क्या था ठेंगा कुछ भी नहीं है. When he signs up and he goes back home, he'll go in an auto rickshaw or in a bicycle or walk to the station. So can he afford to get greedy and depressed? जो हाथ में आया वो मुंह में नहीं आया. He or she doesn't, because they know when they get into the workplace, none of the notes belong to them. So they cannot be greedy to own anything because they don't own anything, so they can't aspire to have anything of that. Same way, when you come into this world, you must have that feeling you don't own any of these things and you're not going to take anything with you. When that is clear, why break your head into always looking at what you have not got instead of enjoying what you have? And that person gave a good example in a video also. If I throw 10 chocolates at you, what you do is going to get you either happiness or depression. If you're greedy to get all 10, maybe not even a single chocolate will come into your hand. Instead, you go and target 2. Get the 2 and at least you have 2. Don't worry about the 8 you lost. Be happy with the 2 that you got. It'll take you to the sense of happiness. So, bottom line, philosophically, it's teaching you to be more knowledgeable, improve your darkness of knowledge by learning and getting the guidance from a guru that has traveled down that path and can give you that assurance, follow me, there's nothing to fear, nothing will happen, there will be craters, there will be troughs, there will be peaks, we will surpass all of these things and still reach our goal. So that feeling is important for you to say, I will start doing this practice of sacrifice. The moment you say sacrifice, oh, at this age, I'm just 45, Kumar is now brainwashing me to go take sannyas, and you start getting into a fear mode, then you will not enjoy whatever life you have. If you're serious about moksha, then you start getting into the habit of tapas and sacrifice. So the 3 binding factors confine experience to an individual personality. So my experience is mine. What you see through your 5 senses, what you register and what you call it as your experience, I can never understand that. At the most, I'll say I can relate to it, but I cannot say I know it. Correct? It is very personal. So, because ignorance is the cause of all the troubles, knowledge, which is the opposite of ignorance, is able to break open the fort of ignorance, desire, and action. When the cause is removed, all the effects are also removed. So, karma is the cause, karma is the effect, action to deal with the karma. Since an effect cannot remove its cause, no mental act or physical act can remove the cause of these two, which is the absence of knowledge. A condition is contradicted only by an opposite condition and not by an object or state which is subservient to the condition to be contradicted. Hence, knowledge, which is the sole power, which is directly opposite to the cause of all troubles, is able to put an end to the entirety of the phenomenal experience. So, what you may say as pain, somebody else may say, at least I got this. It may be happiness for somebody. So, it's all absolute terms. It's not. It's all relative terms, not absolute. Right? So, once you get used to the car, you stop walking. Even walking 10 steps will be very painful. But you look at those villagers, they'll carry their two babies on the side, they'll have two pots, and they'll do ton of things on their head, and they'll continuously walk forever, no problem. They are the fittest and the healthiest. So it's all relative. So when there are doubts which trouble the minds of individuals are ultimately solved because of the knowledge of existence itself. So take time to understand why you are born in this world, why you are born as a human being, why you are born as a rich human being or a poor human being. You need to spend time to understand that. So that is your starting point. That will give you an idea of how far you have to run, how many chances are available for you to make mistakes, right? So you can put your future strength. No, your voice is very choppy yet.
No, not very clear. There is some background noise which is coming.
No, that is okay. Slight hum is there, but it is okay. It's not distracting us.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's now talk about karma. Little bit about karma. We have talked about it in one of the class, but I would just like to do a quick revision. Actions or karmas are threefold in nature. Do you remember what those are?
Something that is completely of the past. I don't know the Sanskrit.
So take the technical terms today. Take the notes if you want. Take the technical terms.
There are some.
Sanchita karma, agami karma, or agami.
That is something that is
Futuristic.
Future.
Prarabdha karma. So Sanchita karma is the store of the effects or the impressions of all the actions performed by an individual in his or her countless previous birth. So it's not just the previous birth, but all the previous births. So if this is your sixth one, all the 5 births that you have had, sum total of that closing balance becomes your opening balance in this birth. That is the Sanchita karma. All these effects of actions have to be experienced by the individual in different bodies. So if there are 5 janams, there will be 5 different bodies. An action or a group of actions out of the Sanchita karma, which can be experienced only under some particular conditions, is allotted to a particular body for the sake of experience in those conditions, demanded by the special effect or group of effects of an action or actions. Okay? So, the experience is also coming out of the actions that are performed. This allotted portion is called the prarabdha karma. Let me repeat again. An action or a group of actions out of the Sanchita karma, which can be experienced only under some particular conditions, is allotted to a particular body for the sake of experience in those conditions, demanded by the special effect or group of effects of an action or actions. The agami karma consists of various actions performed by the individual through a particular body or the mind, which will bear fruit in future. So you do something today, you will bear the fruits or benefits of that later, not immediate. That is the agami karma. Sometimes it is held that the prarabdha karma of a jnani is not destroyed. And some believe that even the prarabdha karma is destroyed when knowledge rises. So the importance of knowledge is, as the knowledge rises, your prarabdha karma is also getting destroyed. The portion of the effect and actions to be worked out through a particular body is separated from the sanchita karma and allotted for experience even before the birth of the body. So as God decides that you're going to come into this world again as a human being, the closing balance and the allotted portion of the sanchita karma that you need to flush out in this birth through this body is already allocated. Should I repeat what I said just now?
Yeah.
You have the Sanchita Karma, which is the net credit and debits in your balance sheet out of the all the births. In all the births, each of the birth you would have had a different body. Now there is a closing balance. Technically, from the closing balance, there is an allocation of karma that happens for your this birth that you're scheduled to have with this body. So it is decided even before you're born. So as you're born, you come with that. And in this birth, if you acquire knowledge and you perform actions based on the knowledge, it will keep on wiping off that prarabdha karma. Got it? Hence, the momentum with which the prarabdha starts actuating the body is exhausted only in the death of the body and not before. Knowledge is not concerned with this active momentum at all. Even when the individual is resolved into the absolute consciousness, the body, as long as the prarabdha is not exhausted, will continue to move as directed by the prarabdha karma. So, your actions in gaining knowledge, doing the tapas, connecting with the Atman or the Supreme, does not impact what the body is dealing with, the prarabdha karma for this birth. These are run in parallel. So all the prarabdha karma has to be exhausted, and that can be exhausted or destroyed only by knowledge. Clear? I'm trying to put it in a very, very simple term. The movement of the body does not become the object of the knowledge of the self-realized person. Self-realized person means you have attained moksha, you have attained that supreme knowledge of the Atman. You're able to connect with the Atman. In this sense, prarabdha is not destroyed even when knowledge dawns. So you don't have to get very technical. At least you get the essence of it. That is good. That is the idea of having the meaning, right? It must be remembered that the prarabdha karma is seen to be working on the jnani only by other individuals who have not got self-knowledge or self-realization. So I can see the difference in you that you have attained self-realization. You cannot see it yourself. Okay? The value of a thing is completely negated and is also reduced to non-existence when there's no consciousness of that thing or when the thing is resolved into the subject itself. Very philosophical statement, right? So we'll split it into part by part. The value of a thing is completely negated. What do you mean by that? When do you have desires? I'm now trying to dump it down to the practical level. When do you have desires? Until you have that object, right? The moment you start acquiring a Benz or a BMW and start driving it every day, you'll start finding complaints in that Benz and oh, this is a very bad suspension. What it makes a lot of noise. It's not taking off fast. Everything. So a value that you attribute because of which you develop a desire, because of which you go after that with actions, gets negated as you fulfill that with knowledge. When you get it, you realize, oh yeah, it's no big deal, yeah. So only people who have the iPhones and watches, etc., will say, yeah, life goes on without this, yeah. I can remain without it. I've just put down my phone, I don't touch it. Life goes on. And then they'll start talking philosophical. Weren't we living a great life even without an iPhone existed? All this philosophy will come in after you have acquired the iPhone. Until you have acquired, it's of a high value. something that you have to go after and get it. Otherwise, your life is meaningless and dull. And I'm not saying this in a philosophical way. Without divulging names, I've got currently a counseling client that lives that life. 1.5 years, I'm talking to that person. And I keep saying, here are the good things that you have done. Highly accomplished, very well to do, best degree, best job in a very senior position, never satisfied. No, look at that family, look at this family, this family, this family. They are the perfect family. They are so happy. The person has gone to the extent of saying, I've got Pitru dosha, I've got this dosha. I said, you have to remember that you're talking to a person who knows about all these things. So you cannot keep on doing BS. 18 months, I'm still not done, and I'm not able to still convince that person, saying that that person has accomplished a lot. So when you hear these kind of statements, don't think that it is highly philosophical. Actually, people live that life. And if you look into yourself in detail, you will also be able to chart out a list of stuff that you're always complaining about that you didn't have. God has not been kind with me. And you all the way go to the extent of saying, is there God? Does God exist? Really? All kinds of people are there. So knowledge is the only thing that can destroy all those things. The state of consciousness as absolute is not something which is separated from the movement of the prarabdha. All moments are realized through an infinite unity. Jnani has no special connection with a particular body. All other bodies are also equally his. So what I said, right? As soon as you go through the jungle and you see the 100 sunlights light, you will not see the difference saying that this is my body and your body. So point here is that they are separating the physical part and the mental aspect of it. The mind, consciousness, it is getting separated. So clearly that is body is being treated like packaging material. It travels in its own path. What you're dealing with is all the mind and consciousness. You're not dealing with the physical part as much. It really doesn't matter. And that is one of the things that I keep telling people over and over again. And people here in the class understand everything, and then they go out, and some of the people have also said, I don't know what he's talking about. So we give so much importance to gender today: man, woman, child, adult, old, young. All of those characterization that we keep busy and spending our life on analyzing and differentiating. Truly speaking, it has got no relevance. It doesn't make any sense. Once you elevate your knowledge, you understand the whole system of what this life is, what this human birth is. How are we connected to the cosmos? How are we connected, and how did we evolve from that? As you acquire more and more knowledge, you will drop all of these things. You will really not have enough time to pay attention to any of these things. So that should be your main goal. So appearances are meaningful only to separated individuals and not to the unified consciousness. So somebody, if you see most of the sadhus, sadhvis, etc., we always complain, right? Why are they looking so ugly? Can't they look handsome like the Pope, the Vatican, the rabbis? Actually, they don't give a damn about the physical appearance. They have surpassed all those levels. They are in a state which is difficult for you to understand. For you, you're still caught into that desire and action cycle, right? And again, tons and tons of people I've seen in my life say, pay attention to, oh, you're dark skinned, you're short, you're fat. And I've seen moms demotivating children, girls. At this rate, you will never get married. Nobody will care for you. You will remain spinster. It's very pathetic. And sometimes I break my protocol of how to behave like a counselor. And I literally give them a shot or two in one of the sessions to shake them out. I said, if there is one person in this whole world that requires empathy, support, compassion, etc., that is a mother. You gave birth to the child. The child did not say, I want to be dark. Child did not say, I want to be short. Child did not say, I want to be fat. It is your child. If you can't motivate and tell that child it is okay as you are, you have to be a beautiful person inside you, not outside. I mean, I know one person that has spent about now nearly about 150 to $250,000 plastic surgery, full body. So everybody looks at it and then they also comment about it. I wonder why this person has spent so much money, because there is so much of restriction, pain, post surgery, that you are better off without all this stuff. Nobody hated that person saying that that person is ugly or they don't want to have any relationship with them or talk to them. Person is very accomplished, very popular. Many people love that person for who that person is, but must be tired looking at the mirror every day comparing to some celebrities. So all of this happens because of lack of knowledge. That's the bottom line. So don't worry too much about the prarabdha karma. It's not a substantial something that is coexistent with consciousness, but it is only a negative force which operates on the individual but not in the absolute. All relative values are transcended the moment absolute knowledge is realized. Knowledge of the Supreme Being, which is omniscient and free from the attributes of samsara, in the form of the identity of oneself with it, removes the fetters caused by ignorance, desire, and action. So, having uprooted the causes of samsara, the individual emerges into the absolute. So, which means you have to get rid of all these routine things. My first birthday, sweet 16, sweet 25, all of those terminologies and milestones created by companies like Hallmark, because that's how they can survive its growing business. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Children's Day, Engineers Day, Doctors Day, they have made it a business, and we all follow them. We get caught into all those milestones. So if you ignore all that stuff and just focus on inducing knowledge into yourself, it'll pay back. You'll come out of all these clutches of ignorance, bondings, and you'll be able to go towards self-realization. So I hope this helps in understanding mantra number 8. With this, we will go to mantra number 9. Any questions so far? Sonalji is speechless. What have I gotten myself into?
Could I just ask, there is that, what you've just said about the physical aspect. At the same time, we are responsible for our own physical well-being and health.
There is a difference between a physical well-being and health. I'll give you examples. There are a couple of friends of mine. I don't mind saying that the gender also. It's a lady. If you look at that lady, she's plumpy. First impression, oh, this lady is not healthy, not fit. I can guarantee you that lady will walk 10 miles more than a very slim looking girl or a lady. And that lady is the most active that I've seen. Point here is fitness by virtue of living a healthy lifestyle and maintaining a good body, which is devoid of all the fats, etc., is different from everybody wanting to look like Aishwarya Rai.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't explain properly. What I mean is that you're saying that we shouldn't be like so into our physical appearance, but at the same time, we do need to have. It's the physical body that we need to look after. So, like you said, the sadhus, they don't bother how they are or what they are. So, where do we draw a line of what is physical external and physical the body, where we have to look after the body?
I'll give you a very distorted explanation that will help you tear apart the confusion, right? I'm looking the way I'm looking. Let's say that I have got two teeth crossed, right? And I've got a cleft lip here, upper lip here. I stammer. And my one eye is small, the other eye is big. Does it make me unhealthy?
No, that's still not what I'm trying to ask.
I think I got what you said. There are
Yes.
two aspects to it. Sir. The one is taking care of your health, like going for a
Yes.
walk, eating healthy, etc. That is what has been prescribed to us by our dharma also. They also say you observe this fast, you do this, you sleep like this, you get up early, sleep, don't stay up in the night, avoid gadgets, etc. All these are part of the healthy living. Now, all this is necessary for a healthy mind, so that you can acquire your knowledge, you can apply what knowledge you have in any circumstance, take a decision, and then weigh the benefits, risk, and take it ahead. So that is one aspect. The other thing is the physical attributes, like looking beautiful, modern or whatever. That is another thing. Okay.
I got it.
The first part is essential for our living, because
Point.
unless we
Yeah.
do that, we won't be able to do what we want to do. Like say to do your karma. Like suppose you want to do good to people. Unless you are healthy, you are in the right frame of mind, you won't be able to do that.
And also,
is that
Sonalji,
what-
you need to separate the healthy condition of a body. I'm not talking physical. Healthy condition of a body versus an appearance. Both are two different things, is what I was trying to explain.
Health versus attractiveness.
Appearance is not important.
Yeah.
That is one aspect of it. I go one step further. And I want to be very blunt and to the point, is what is important, because the more we avoid these topics and we go round and round like a jalebi, right, we miss the point. Here, this is one part of appearance: dark complexion, short, fat, plumpy, etc., etc. If you go as in the path of having knowledge, the whole gender thing that we are so obsessed with also will go away, is what I'm saying. We are living under so much of misconception. See, when you're a child, you are being taught, stay away from boys, stay away from girls, etc., etc., because your mind is not developed. We can't expect them to have the Mundaka Upanishad knowledge and all the various Upanishad knowledge at the age of 10 or 12. But there are Gyanis, they are exceptions, geniuses. Average person do not have that. So then, in order to control your indriyas, you're given certain set of restrictions. But let's say once you are married, there is no suspense between the man and the woman, right? You are intimate, there are no suspenses anymore. And just like as you get that iPhone, your sort of inquisitiveness goes away, the value of that comes down, the inquisitiveness goes away. Oh, I know it, kind of thing. That comes out of knowledge. So when you grow up, you just grow beyond the physical attributes of a human being. You cannot pay too much attention to that. And if your mind goes only in that direction, that means you're not progressing enough in your knowledge to say that really doesn't matter. That is equally important. I'm not just stopping at the attractiveness part of it at all. The path of knowledge is going to take you away from, I don't care whether that person is a male or a female. You see that person as a human being. You are expected to progress towards that and beyond that. Because when you attain true self-realization, all of these things will not matter. You will not be able to even see it. And I keep giving the example of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Is one of the living example of realized soul. They will have is just one cloth, and some of the sadhus also may not even have that. And it's not just related to men. There are sadhvis who are like that. So if somebody tells you sadhvis live that life, how is it possible? She's a lady. No, that is where you are. They are not at that level. They don't require to take bath every day. So the rules that apply to us, all of those rules will start getting diluted one by one. We are told 3 days you have to do Trikal Sandhya Vandana. As you reach that level, you don't need to do Vedic chanting. You are already a realized soul. You don't need to do those exercises or gym workouts that is supposed to take you to the path of realization. Am I making sense?
Yes, thank you.
And whether you accept it or not, or whether you are able to relate to that or not, I'm giving you that information, knowledge, so that you keep that as your destination. I want to be like that. I want to reach that level. Whether you reach in this birth, next birth, leave it to God. But if you don't even have that knowledge and you don't even accept that knowledge, you'll not be able to make progress. You'll continue to get caught in this cycle. Make sense? There are many things like about drinks, about non-veg, hundreds of things I can go on and on. We live in a world of misconception without getting into the real knowledge. Healthy, yes, absolutely. Physical, and with physical health condition, you will acquire mental health condition. This is interdependent. So you can't say physically I'm very healthy, but mentally I'm not healthy, and it is okay, because mentally if you're not healthy, it will show up in the physical unhealthy condition. Like if you stress too much, you're going to have diabetes. If you have diabetes and you're accumulating a lot of fat and sugar in your body, you will not be able to breathe well. Your body vitals will not be well. You cannot do certain things that you want to do because you're not mentally fit to do, which is what Usha was explaining. So those two are interdependent, being healthy, etc. Make sense? Yeah. If I'm going too fast, feel free to slow me down. We are not under any time bound pressure of saying, we have to finish so many mantras in this class or so on and so forth. Whatever doubts you have, get it clarified. And we can ask the same question 3-4 times. It's not a big deal. Usha, so you're okay so far? Radha, I don't know whether she's reached, but
Yeah, I've been listening to it. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, about to reach. Yes.
Okay. But so far so good.
So can I express in my limited fashion, in a nutshell, for us to be able to decipher what is the right karmas to do, you need a healthy body.
Absolutely.
And for that, you need a healthy mind. And that's why, what like Usha Didi was saying, work on your mind. So when you're doing something, if you know that this action, for example, going to the gym is going to assist me with my mind, then that's on the right path. But if I'm doing something for external appearance, then it's not
unwanted
towards moksha.
It's a luxury that you're enjoying.
Yeah. Okay.
Again, I want to clarify one thing. The sequence is very important.
One more